okay, so yeah.
No, I've got the agenda, so I'm okay with the agenda. Okay. There'll be a momentary pause. Carrie, you might need the Zoom link to get.
Yeah, I just started it, so he's interviewing with some of them. There's one who's wow.
I thought you said that to me. You ready? Call meeting to order. This is a meeting of Littlestown Area School Board of Directors. This is a special meeting. This is a live in-person meeting. Open to the public in accordance with the Sunshine Act. Okay, not be arrested. Carrie, would you do a roll call, please?
Danielle Brennan here. Mary Collins, Brian Lawyer.
Here.
Nick Lovell.
Here.
Janelle Ressler. Here. Wayne Sullivan.
Here.
Carl Thompson.
Here.
Stephen Yerker.
Here.
Okay. Please rise to pledge allegiance. I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. All right, public comments. In accordance, we recognize the members of the public who have signed up to provide comment as stipulated in policy 903. When your name is called, please approach the podium, state your name, confirm you're a resident or a taxpayer of the district, and topic of discussion for the record. Please direct your comments to the board as a whole, not an individual. We ask that you limit your comments to 5 minutes or less. The privilege to speak may be interrupted, revoked, or a recess of the meeting may be called by the chair if the speaker does not observe reasonable decorum and orderly conduct. Thank you. Dwayne Sullivan, you're up.
Thank you. Well, I'm here tonight to speak on Fred Miller's behalf. He's a longtime friend of mine. I've known Fred a lot of years. He's a pillar in the community. He's definitely done a lot in Lewistown as well as other areas, as you all know. He asked me to say a few things tonight, and this is coming from Fred, not from me, so I do want the board to understand this. Fred had a hearing problem, and nobody on this board would address it. Nobody would move him. I asked Carl back in the 5th month this year to move him, and he didn't move him, but he did allow Marion and Janelle to play musical chairs for 3 months. You know, obviously Fred couldn't hear, he couldn't read lips, some of the people in here speak very lightly. He couldn't hear. He was struggling to understand what was being said. And on the 5:20 meeting on the stage, you put him down the very end of the row, which made it impossible for him to even read lips, let alone hear. This has been a prevalent problem in Littlestown. This happened with a previous board member who had a hearing disability, who left several years ago. Then you had people come up to this podium and attack him, personally attack him, saying one board member who can't hear 75% of the meeting, and we all knew who that woman was, can't even remember what he voted on. I mean, literally the attacks were atrocious. Now I want to get into, he told me to make note that there was one of the reasons why he left, another reason why he left was the corruption within this board. He saw a lot of illegal stuff going on, and I'll personally attest to one of them. When the recording guidelines were approved, I went to eat with Fred that night, and it's very unusual for Fred not to eat. That man was having the worst indigestion I've ever seen a man have in his life. And why he was having it? Because of the recording guidelines. He knew that it was legal to record a public meeting. He knew that this was being done to push me around and push another citizen around. He knew it. And it bothered him that much. That was the straw that broke the camel's back with Fred Miller. And then I'm going to get into Brian Lawyer. He told me to mention, and I could do this under a case law out of Philadelphia, 2021. Yes, I can call out a name.
No, you may not.
Yes, I can. Yes, I can. So this individual. No, I can call it out. There's a case law out of Philadelphia where you can't stop it. You can't stop it. You can't stop
We
it.
pause while the attorney adjusts it. I need you to clarify your reasoning behind noting one board member. Your reason behind that.
My reason behind that is because Fred asked me to say it.
No, your actual, what the purpose is of that, before you can go on.
He just wanted to mention that he was chastised in a meeting for his vote.
Okay, that you can't do. If I'm correct, you cannot defame an individual over those comments. If Fred wants to come in and do that, he has the ability to, but you cannot defame a specific individual under that. Okay? All right. Go ahead. You're back on.
Okay, well, in that case, since I'm not really allowed to say anything for Fred, according to everybody else, Fred did say he's fed up with all the evil stuff the board was doing and then covering it up. He said that two of the board members went AWOL. We both know who the two are. And I'm going to make a notice of this newspaper article. This article was BS. I wish somebody would have called Fred and not Mitchell to do this article, because Fred he did not graduate in the early 60s. He graduated in the mid-50s. And there are mistakes in this that really made Fred mad. When this article came out, he called me from work, and he told me, how dare them write an article about me without calling me, without confronting me, without asking me anything. And he was furious about it. And so I'm just here to say, you got it all wrong in this article. He also did not want that agricultural $7,500 to go to a mobile unit. He wanted it to go to the agricultural club within the district. He mentioned that to me the other day, and I said, fine, I'll say something, and we'll just go from there. These are the things that Fred asked me to say. I'm not saying this. Fred asked me to say it. So he obviously didn't want to come in here because he'd be mixed up on his thoughts and words on the situation in the heat of passion. So here I am, and I want to thank you for giving me the time for mentioning this. And again, we should remember that Fred has served honorably in many committees, many events. He's a very good person, and he really shouldn't have been treated the way he was treated by board members as well as administration. So in that case, I'm done, and we'll just go from there.
As to your comment on January 30th, 2024, property supply, you made a complaint at 54:56, and that Director Miller could not hear. Fred stated that half the people who speak, but Director Miller stated at 55 minutes and 58 seconds when discussing the microphone. Well, don't do this for me. I will function somehow. Also on February 5th, 2024 work session, he discussed that he's got hearing aids now. So I'm assuming these are all on
Carl,
the record.
Fred was a proud
Okay,
man.
you're done, you're sitting
Well,
down.
are you
That
gonna
was
just say
rebuttal to
that
your-
now?
That was a rebuttal to your statement that.
Well, that's
he said-
ridiculous. Fred
would've
Miller
said-
was a proud man.
I understand that, I'm not arguing
He
that.
didn't want to look like a weakling, and now you're making fun of him. That's
I'm not
how
making
you
fun
are,
of him.
Carl.
I'm not making fun of him.
You are making fun of him.
No, I'm not. I'm stating what he said, his words. Not your words, not your words.
Because he was a proud man.
Okay. Susan Johnson, please.
Jeez. Joe Mussolini over there.
Okay. I wasn't going to talk about Fred, but I will say you have to give reasonable accommodations regardless of whether the individual specifically asks for that reasonable accommodation or not. You knew there was an issue and you didn't address it, period. So, and you know that there was an issue before, but I'm not going to speak any more about that. I would like to turn to sharing my opinions about some key skills and experience that I hope to see the new appointee bring to the school board. The ideal candidate would have knowledge about our schools and recent, current, and upcoming issues before the school board. If tonight is the first time that one of these candidates is engaged with the school board, then I have serious questions about how knowledgeable that person will be about issues before the school board. In addition, the board should be seeking knowledge about overseeing building projects, procurements, service contracts, employee contracts, evaluating the superintendent or a similar role, their performance. The ideal candidate would also have experience and knowledge that others currently on this board may not have, such as special education or mental health. You should all be working together as a puzzle. I believe it's important that board members hear and consider different perspectives. I strongly believe that's an area that this board needs vast improvement in. I often feel like my perspective is ignored or attacked or dismeaned or defamed. And that's simply unacceptable, especially since I'm a district parent who is extremely knowledgeable about matters before the school board and has regularly reviewed every single document and engaged with the board and administration for 3 years. Finally, and of utmost importance, the appointee should demonstrate the ability to listen to expert advice, but also ask appropriate questions and hold the school administration accountable, not just on what they say, but providing proof that they are providing the best education possible to all students in a fiscally responsible manner. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, at this point, I need a recommendation for the acceptance of Fred's resignation letter of the Board of Directors effective September 19th, 2024.
So moved.
Remember, please. Lawyer, thank you. Brian, all right. All those in favor signify, is there any discussion, further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Opposed.
Motion carries. All right. On to the board member vacancy interviews. Welcome all 4 of you and one in the back. Can you hear me back there okay? Bradley.
Yes.
Okay, I want to make sure you hear me.
Yeah, copy.
I've been accused of being soft. I'm going to ask questions of all of you, and we're going to go, just as a clarification, of one, you'll answer the first question, you'll answer the second question first, so it'll move down and then keep flip-flopping, so that nobody gets the second, or we're trying to keep it as fair as possible. All right, and I'm going to ask that. Okay, hold on, I get my paperwork squared away. Excuse me a second. Using what we're aware of. Mary's, I did it.
Mary's on the back.
All right.
Mary's on the back.
Okay. See? Okay, I'm sorry, I'm still trying to figure it. There, okay. I'm good now, I got it. Okay. First question. Jeannie, that's you. It's you. Okay. Jeannie, first question is for you. Our first question, then each one's gonna be the exact same question. What do you see as the role of a board member?
Board member works with the rest of the board as a team with the superintendent and the plan and direction of the district and education. And then specifically, they establish policies, they approve the budget, they hire and evaluate the superintendent, they approve hiring of potential employees, they approve curriculum, taxes, building and ground projects, and the school calendar and other things, and then they also help negotiate contracts like the collective bargaining agreement and the food service, things like that. All of which she said. Maybe I don't know if there's much to add to that.
Okay. Then I'll take that as an answer. You're welcome.
Same question?
Yep.
Excuse me.
Yeah.
Say the name.
Say the name.
Oh, okay.
So we-
All right,
everybody
yeah.
here knows who's
Okay.
going to speak, right?
Yeah, I'll back
Jeannie
up.
Ewan,
Yeah.
Gabrielle Sherman, Ron Bailey, Adam McCall.
I'm sorry, I apologize. I thought,
And on mine,
and on the screen is Bradley. Brad, want to say your name?
Bradley Keeper. Yep, Bradley Keeper.
All right. I thought you heard, everybody heard me, so I apologize. Okay. Donna, which is your, what do you see the role as a school board member?
I would say it's pretty much exactly as in previously stated. I would add to it that there's a large piece for school construction and following through with the needs of school construction in regards to future growth. Is that a thumbs up for me?
Thumbs
Dr.
up
Mitchell?
for Mr. Lovell,
Oh.
for the feedback that we were getting.
I was hoping that was my thumbs up. Okay.
Okay. Anything else?
Um,
I don't want to cut anybody off.
Well, it also should also include reviewing the superintendent. That would, you might have already said, and I apologize. In regards to his contract, his or her contract, performance, et cetera. And as far as academics, I don't remember if you said more about that.
so they plan the direction of the district and
But academics really has to be followed closely in regards to performance.
Anything else?
That was pretty much it.
Okay.
I hate to give a generic answer, but I agree with everything that she said. I don't really know.
Unfortunately, I don't know a whole lot more. That's why I go through the change. Okay.
She needs to go first next time.
She gets to get on the, I think she's on the fourth question. She goes first. And Mr. Keffer, your answer to that question.
Yeah, I appreciate it. So apologies in advance, I can't be there. I had a prior application for work in Austin, Texas, so appreciate the accommodation to be on the screen. But, you know, I think the role of a board member is to ultimately represent the members of the community. At the end of the day, you know, the community is the taxpayer that, you know, provides the opportunity for education. And I believe the, you know, community also involves the children. So the ability for the district to actually help guide and shape future generations is really part of the role of the board member. So there's the business opportunity, so being able to drive the business decisions. There's the education opportunity, being able to set the curriculum, work with the principals, the administrators to be able to set that education curriculum, and really overall just kind of like create a level of accountability. So that way there's a bridge between the community who has a desire, the children who have an opportunity, and all of the educational business requirements that we just talked through. So I think at the end of the day, it's really good at building that bridge between the community and the district for accountability to go both ways.
Thank you. Okay. Question number 2. Sure. At this point, what is your understanding of the relationship between the Board of Education and the superintendent?
The board oversees the superintendent.
Anything else? That's your answer, I think.
Well, it's interesting that you asked that for a question, because on your website, you show that the school board and the superintendent are the same playing field. So it's very important that you can work together